A clean, quiet electric car, no surge pricing, no driver canceling on you at the last second, and a driver who actually got a salary. For a few years, BluSmart was the taxi in India that treated everyone right, riders and drivers. And then, in a matter of weeks, it just vanished. 10,000 drivers out of work. Your money stuck in the app. Gone. And here's the strange part. The reason it died has almost nothing to do with taxis. It's hidden in one sentence in its own paperwork. The cars were never theirs. Let me show you what that means. BluSmart started in January 2019, and not as a taxi company you'd recognize. Its founders, brothers Anmol and Puneet Jaggi, weren't cab guys. They ran a solar energy company called Gensol. Remember that name. It's the whole story. India's cities were choking, and Uber and Ola came with two daily annoyances: prices that spiked and drivers who bailed. So BluSmart went all electric, fixed the price, and put drivers on a salary so they couldn't cancel. Then they built the real thing, and they controlled everything. Their own cars, their own drivers, their own charging stations. As a rider, it felt premium for a normal price. As a driver, you got something Uber never gave you: a steady paycheck, around 25,000 rupees a month, instead of gambling on the next fare. People genuinely loved this thing. At its peak, BluSmart ran around 8,000 electric cabs across Delhi and Bengaluru and was, on paper, worth hundreds of crores. But here's the thing nobody riding those cabs knew. BluSmart didn't actually own a single one of those 8,000 cars. It leased them, rented them, month to month, from another company. And which company? Gensol, the founder's own solar company. The same two brothers sat on both sides, the company that owned the cars and the company that drove them. So the taxi you loved was completely dependent on a business most riders had never even heard of. Pull that one thread and everything unravels. So let's pull it. Where does a solar company get thousands of electric cars? It borrows. Gensol took loans of nearly 978 crore rupees, a big chunk of it from government-backed green energy lenders, money meant to put clean vehicles on Indian roads. On paper, the plan was clean. Use the loans to buy 6,400 electric cars, lease them to BluSmart, everybody wins. And for a while, on paper, everybody did. Except, according to Sebi, India's market regulator, the paper and the reality didn't match. And I have to be careful here. These are Sebi's allegations, laid out in an official order back in April 2025. Nobody's been convicted. But Sebi alleges that out of the 6,400 cars those loans were meant to buy, only about 4,704 actually showed up. So where did the rest of the money go? Sebi's order claims a chunk of it flowed through the brothers' other companies and came out the other end as a luxury apartment, a high-end golf set, green transport loans, Sebi alleges, quietly turning into a lifestyle. Again, alleged, and the founders will get their day to answer it. But the moment the regulator said it out loud, the whole structure caught fire. And it burned fast. First, the credit rating agencies smelled trouble and downgraded Gensol to junk. Then, in April 2025, Sebi barred the two brothers from the markets, and that was it. The cash stopped. BluSmart's drivers didn't get a phone call or an email. One day, the app just flashed two words: return to hub. Bookings switched off across Delhi, Bengaluru, Mumbai. Salaries stopped. A company that had raised hundreds of crores was finally pushed into bankruptcy over a missed payment of just 1.28 crore rupees because the money was simply gone. From everyone loves it to it's over took about a month. And here's who got left holding the bag. Around 10,000 drivers, the people promised a steady paycheck, suddenly had nothing, some unpaid for weeks. A group of them stood outside Delhi's Jantar Mantar, asking the simplest question: who's going to pay us? And maybe you, if you had money sitting in your blue wallet, because refunds got stretched from 6 days to 90, and the fine print called that balance non-refundable. The founders got the apartment, the drivers got a message on an app. So what actually killed BluSmart? It's tempting to say fraud, full stop, but that's only half of it. Yes, the alleged fraud at Gensol pulled the trigger, but the gun was already loaded. Because BluSmart, for all the love, never actually made money. Its whole model needed those expensive cars running almost non-stop just to break even. And it made one fatal bet. It got every single car from one supplier. A supplier it happened to be related to. No backup, no firewall. And that's the real lesson. Never let the same person be the one who borrows the money, owns the thing, and runs the business. When one person sits on every side of the table, there's nobody left to ask the obvious question. Wait, where are the other 1,700 cars? Uber and Ola survive precisely because they own almost nothing. The risk is spread across thousands of ordinary drivers, not stacked inside one family's balance sheet. BluSmart built something people genuinely loved. It just built it on top of a structure with no wall between the mission and the money. And when the money went, the mission and 10,000 jobs went with it. The cars were clean. The books weren't.